G'day legends, so Ian Garry has gone ahead and spoken even more ridiculously cringy things out into existence in the MMA world. I mean, I quite literally said at the start of the week, it's Ian Garry fight week, so you know that we are in for some serious yapping. Hey legends, and we are getting into an Ian Garry fight week, which means you know we are going to be treated to some serious blabbing and yapping from the boy Ian Garry. And oh my lord, that boy hasn't disappointed at all. Not at all. Ian Garry is on a mission to become the most cringy fighter on the UFC roster. Ian Garry being cringy is just as guaranteed as John Jones finding a way to cheat during fight week. It's as guaranteed as Anthony Smith curling into the fetal position during a fight. It's as guaranteed as Joe Rogan being blown away by a calf kick. I mean, Ian Garry being cringy is as guaranteed... I'll stop. Sorry, I'll stop. Too much. John Jones does steroids. Right, to today's video, where are we going to start? Old boy Ian Garry, he's done a fair bit of talking all week long, but one interview really sort of encapsulates it all. It's a perfect miniature. It's a perfect clip of everything that's been going on, so that's the one that we're going to be looking at. It really does seem like Ian Garry is living in his own universe, right? The delusion, the self-confidence, the smelling of his own farts, they're giving himself roses. Ian Garry is on a goddamn another level of loving himself. Check it out here.
Joaquin Buckley barely speaks fucking English.
This goes on for a bit, but the first one straight away, he's taking shots at Joaquin Buckley. Now, an Irish fella saying that an American fella barely speaks English is bloody rich, considering no one can understand what the hell the Irish are talking about half the goddamn time. But Buckley got him back himself, don't worry about that. Buckley jumped on in the comments section underneath and said, just don't get knocked out by Prates, Ian, all right? Because Buck versus the Cuck, that belt is gonna feed nations, and that is true. That is true. But Buck versus the Cuck, oh my god. Dude, if Buckley slept Ian Garry and then gave him the back shots like Israel Adesanya did to Paulo Costa, that meme in UFC history would live on in infamy.
Joaquin Buckley barely speaks fucking English, and Sean Brady looks like he's out of Lord of the Rings. So no one gives a fuck about these guys.
Then he goes on to give Sean Brady some crap as well, saying that no one gives a fuck about these guys. Like, Ian, if Sean Brady was in a cage with you, string bean vegan Ian Garry, Sean Brady would do unspeakable things to you, Ian Garry. Just unspeakable things. I love how Ian Garry thinks that he's Temu knockoff version of jiu-jitsu that he's been like learning over the last year over at Shooter Box, right? All those failed submission attempts that he's been throwing at MVP and Shavkat Rakhmonov. I love how he thinks that is going to save him against the savage ground and pound that is Sean Brady.
Neil Magny's soul. Here, look. There's his soul. You watched that fight, right?
I did.
Yeah, Neil Magny's never been the same since I took his soul. It's right there. He's in the bottom of my hand.
Oh my god. I don't get this guy. I just don't get this guy. He's bragging about taking Neil Magny's soul, right? He's bragging about taking Neil Magny to yet another boring ass decision. Yeah, he had Neil Magny flopping about on the canvas like a fish that's been pulled out of the river, completely unable to defend himself. And Ian Garry still wasn't able to finish him. But he's going in there against Carlos Prates, right? Someone who just slept Neil Magny, like out cold, effortlessly. I don't understand how you can go in there bragging about how you did the same job as somebody else, but worse. Do you understand what I'm saying? You both got given the same job. Go in there and fight Neil Magny, the quintessential gatekeeper. Show off, impress us in front of Neil Magny. Yeah? You did the job worse than Carlos Prates did, and you are bragging about it here, Ian. He's retarded. His mental abilities are lacking. Look, I have dyslexia, right? I was in the special catch-up classes at school. I know him when I see him, mate, all right? I know him when I see him. He's the one slowing down the fucking special classes. Ian Garry is the retard, trust me.
On my hand. I've got the whole of Ireland behind me. I've got Brazil. I've got fucking America in love with me and divided and hate with me because of other things. But at the end of the day, I fight.
There we are, the next part there, right. So if you think, Ian, that Brazil is behind you, if you think Brazil is behind you while you are going up against Carlos Prates and the fighting nerds, again, the levels of delusion that are coming from this guy, it's just so hard because every single sentence that he says is like, no, bro, no, none of this is true. You do not have all of Ireland behind you. Yeah, and then he goes on to try and say that he has all of America behind him as well. And even he knows, even with his delusion levels cranked to absolutely 11, even he knows that that is too far. Listen, I respect Ian Garry. I know this whole video seems like I don't, but there are parts to Ian Garry that I respect. You know what I mean? Like, I don't respect... Listen, there are parts that I respect. I respect that he does get in the cage and chooses to get his head kicked in for a job, right? That is incredibly brave and well done. I respect him for that. I do. I also respect him for being the one to step up on short notice and take the hard fights. I think that's amazing. I pray that more fighters would do that. Yeah, I absolutely congratulate Ian Garry for being the one to step up and take hard fights, especially on short notice as well. But the dude is delusional. We are talking about CM Punk levels of delusion. We are talking about Kevin Holland thinking that he doesn't have an ego levels of delusion. He took Neil Magny, that shouldn't even been in the rankings anymore, who is the gatekeeper, right? He took Neil Magny to a decision. He got outstruck by MVP, and then he tried to gaslight us afterwards that it was an absolutely masterclass, yeah? And then he had 2 semi-decent rounds against Shavkat Rakhmonov, and he has been begging the MMA community to give him a participation trophy ever since, right? He is trying to get elevated off the loss to him. Ian Garry fans who hate Diego Lopez, saying that Diego Lopez failed submission attempts on Movsar Evloev, they are the exact same fans saying that Ian Garry nearly subbed Shavkat Rakhmonov. It was so close, man. Ian Machado Garry nearly subbed Shavkat Rakhmonov. It was so close. But they'll still give Diego Lopez no credit at all. Ian and his fan base are fucking bonkers, mate. Well, and then Sean Brady jumped in. Sean Brady had something to say as well. Sean Brady immediately clapped back with his biggest claim to fame is losing a decision to Shavkat. True. Crying like a baby that he didn't get a title shot off a loss. Also true and wild. And now he's claiming that he's going to get the title shot if he beats number 13th in the rankings. Make it make sense. What a fucking clown, mate. Yeah, absolutely right, Sean Brady. 0 top 5 wins, calls himself an elite striker, held on for dear life against MVP. Ian, what are you doing out here, man? What are you doing? Ian wants to lose a fight, get a title shot, beat number 13, get a title shot, while Buckley and Brady are just tearing holes through the division. By then, Shavkat would have healed up and been ready to go. That means, at best, Ian, if you beat Carlos Prates and nothing changes in the division, which is very busy right now, you are at least 4th in line for a title shot. And that is without anything moving along, and we know how quickly MMA moves, boys and girls, and you've still got to get through Prates. So, I mean, the most delusional fighter of 2025 goes to Ian Garry. He has embodied the spirit of CM Punk, but at least he gives us something to laugh at. I am thoroughly looking forward to this weekend's Fight Night card. So if you want to join me for that, I'll be doing a live stream during the entire thing. So come and pop in and say hi, whatever you're up to on Saturday night while you're watching the fights. Get your phone out and say, hey, Dougie, how are you enjoying the fight? Come and say hello. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name's Dougie. I make an MMA video every day of the week, Monday through Friday, and I try and go live at least 3 times a week. So if you want to know when all that happens, hit the subscription button down there. Leave a comment. What is the most delusional thing you can think of that Ian Garry has said? What is your favorite Ian Garry moment? Put it down there in the comments. And if you can't be bothered commenting, at least leave a like on the video. That helps grow the channel a lot, so I really appreciate that. And if you're one of the paying members of the channel or you've been gifted a membership, thank you so much. Your names are up on the next slide. That's Friday. That's the last bloody video for the week. So you guys have yourselves a great weekend. And I'll see you all at Fight Night live. See you then. Bye.